And we're live. What's going on, everyone? It's Anno Domini here, and I'm excited to bring you guys today's last of our free online training sessions for music producers. And the topic for today is going to be the top 10 ways to make money selling beats in 2018. And the entire presentation today is coming to you from myself, from Anno Domini. I'm also the CEO of Anno Domini Nation and Modern Producers. And of course, my colleague Superstar O, who's the CEO of Industry Kits and Grind or Die. So together we put together this presentation for you guys to give you the latest and greatest strategies for selling your beats in 2018. So let's take a look at the comment boards. Thank you so much to everyone who's showing up on this Wednesday morning in LA time. Shout out to NL Beats, shout out to Rich, to Sakar. Let me know where you guys are checking in from. I'd love to see where everyone is tuning in from. I think I saw some people from Jersey. I saw some people from the Netherlands. Is that right? Too Deep is in the comment boards as well. What's going on, man? Nice to see you. So let me know, guys, where are you all checking in from? I'd love to see some locations thrown up in the comment boards. Daryl says he's checking in from Atlanta, Georgia. There's some people from Orlando checking in. Joe from the South, Miami. Let's see, Melbourne, Australia, all the way on the other side of the world. That's awesome. A couple people. Louis checking in from London. Let's see. I think Too Deep is checking in all the way from Germany, my home country, of course. If you guys don't know, I moved out to LA about 3 years ago, but originally I'm from a tiny little country in the middle of nowhere in Germany. So my journey kind of took me via London, UK, out here to Los Angeles. So we're just going to wait a couple more minutes, about 2 more minutes, to allow a few more producers to check in. I know some people are trying to get out of work right now, so we'll just give them about 2 more minutes, and then we'll kick things off with today's presentation. And basically, you guys are going to discover the exact strategies that producers such as myself and also Superstar O use to skyrocket our income. So we've been doing it for a long time, for over a decade. For me personally, I got started around about 2003, 2004. So I was actually one of the pioneers of the whole sort of online beat selling business. So definitely know what I'm talking about. I've learned a lot over the years. And really, I'm just excited today to be sharing with you guys my latest and greatest tactics and strategies so that you can hopefully go away, you'll learn something today, and you'll be able to implement that so that you can maximize your revenue as a music producer. Because this is really all about me giving back to the community and creating more entrepreneurs and more full-time music producers. That's kind of what motivates me at this point in my career. So I'm excited to have you guys here. We have a couple hundred producers, I believe, in the comment boards. Thank you guys so much. A couple more shout-outs as well. I want to say thank you to Derek from Delaware. I want to say thank you to Marcus as well for being here today from Georgia. Jason checking in from Arkansas. Armando from New York City. Shout out to you, man. Happy to see some people from the East Coast, all over the U.S. and all over the world, in fact. I saw we had people from Germany, from Denmark, from the Netherlands, from Australia. So that's awesome to see. So again, today is obviously the last one of my free online webinar sessions. So I'm glad that you guys made it. I know some people will like the Monday session or the Saturday session so much that they're showing up again. So shout out to you guys too. All right, so let's kick things off. What do you say? Welcome again, for those of you just joining us, to today's online presentation. And the topic is the top 10 ways to make money selling beats in 2018. And this is going to be a live online stream. I'm sure some of you guys are checking in with your phones. Some of you are checking in with your computers. If for whatever reason, with these sort of online live streams, it can happen sometimes that your screen freezes. If that happens, just refresh the page and see if that helps. If for some reason the audio isn't working, so you can't hear me talking anymore, just shoot me a quick message and I'll try and get that fixed for you guys. Worst case scenario, if the whole thing sort of crumbles and breaks down, then I'm going to post up a direct link to a new chat room in the comment board. So you guys can just click on that, and I'll try and also email you the link. But check the comment boards where you guys are typing away. I, as AD, is going to post up a backup link there just in case. But hopefully everything goes smooth. All right, guys. So let's talk about why you're here. So basically, whether you're just starting out with music production or you've been doing this for many, many years, I would wager a bet that music is your passion. If you're anything like me, you basically love music, and that's why you're doing this in the first place. Of course, another reason for why you're here is because you want to learn how to take that passion for music that you have to the next level. So it doesn't really matter if you're just looking to maybe earn a little side income because music is your hobby and you're just doing it for fun, or maybe because you're trying to be a full-time music producer. And if you already are a full-time music producer, then perhaps you're just trying to find ways to maximize your revenue so that you can really depend on your music production career as your full-time income and not just sort of get by, but actually make a really good living out of it. And of course, finally, hopefully some of you guys are here because you want to be inspired by award-winning and platinum-selling pioneer producers with decades of experience, such as myself and Superstar O. So for me, like I said, my sort of motivation for doing these kind of presentations is because I really want to create more entrepreneurs and I really want more music producers to get paid and to be able to do this full time. And funnily enough, all the way back in sort of 2013, I made this sort of YouTube video that you can see on the right-hand side here. And the title was The Top 10 Ways for Producers to Make Money with Beats. And actually, to this date, this is one of my most popular YouTube videos. You can see it's had over 137,000 views, and I still get comments almost daily from producers asking me questions. And at this point, it's almost embarrassing to me because this information was from like 2013, so it's 5 years old and it's kind of outdated. So that's why today's topic is basically how you can use all these strategies today in 2018, because obviously things are always evolving and changing, and you want to sort of move with the times and you don't want to get left behind. So just a really quick introduction about myself and about Superstar O for those of you who don't necessarily know about us that much. On my part, my name is Anno Domini, or 80, and I'm the head of a multi-platinum team of 11 music producers, and collectively we're called Anno Domini Nation. I'm also the CEO of Modern Producers, which is one of the premier platforms for music producers. We sell things like producer kits, VSTs, and all that good stuff. I'm also the CEO of Music Weapons, and more recently, since I've been lucky enough to make a really good living as a music producer, I actually used that money to set up a property management company. So I actually own 4 houses around the LA area, and I manage those. So that's kind of my passion recently, and that company is called LA Space. And sort of the other side of what I've been doing with the money that I've been fortunate enough to make as a music producer is I got married last September. So you can see at the bottom right there, that's me with my wife up in the Malibu hills. So that's the kind of like fun stuff that I guess being a music producer and earning a decent income affords you. Now, over the years, I've actually worked with many artists, people like 50 Cent, Snoop Dogg, Lil Wayne, Tech Nine, Wu-Tang Clan, and also many brands, people like Coca-Cola or Adidas or BMW. Superstar O, he has a pretty similar story. So like me, he kind of became big through selling his beats online. And I'm sure many of you guys know him as one of sort of the biggest producers on SoundClick and now Airbit. And he's really sort of a best-selling online producer with legions of fans and followers. He's also the CEO of Industry Kits, which, like Modern Producers, is one of the big sort of platforms for music producers. And he also sort of funneled his income he makes as a music producer into setting up Grind or Die Records, which is also a fashion label. And he also loves his cars. So more often than not, if you follow this guy on Twitter or on Instagram, he's always riding around in some kind of fancy sports car. So that's kind of his passion, and that's the kind of stuff that being a music producer has afforded him. And for O, he's worked with big artists, people like Wiz Khalifa, Jim Jones, T-Pain, Roscoe Dash, JJ, and so on. And between us, so myself and O, we have, you can hear our beats in over 300 million song plays online alone, and also 4 billion video views. So chances are, even if you don't necessarily know our names as producers, you definitely heard our beats before in some kind of video somewhere. So just to let you guys know, if you stay until the end of today's presentation, I really don't just want you guys to walk away with some free information and a ton of awesome knowledge, but I also want to hook you guys up with a free little gift just as a thank you for showing up, for making the effort. So I'm going to hook you guys up with the Pro Hi-Hat Volume 2 MIDI and Loop Pack, just as a little thank you. And this is courtesy of Superstar O and Industry Kits. This is a really dope little collection of hi-hat, MIDI, and loops, which I think is really going to help you guys out to get inspired to make some dope beats. So all of you guys get that at the end of today's presentation. Okay, so before we get into the meaty stuff, just some really quick webinar house rules. First of all, guys, please no shameless self-promotion in the comments section. So please don't just spam out your links and try and network. There is going to be a chance for networking at the end of the event. So I'd like to open up the floor at the very end for people to kind of post their links and get to know each other and maybe even, you know, do some beat collaborations or something like that. But please, let's keep that for the end. I also want to mention that I would highly suggest you guys have some kind of like a notepad and a pen at the ready. You're probably going to be wanting to write down a bunch of stuff, or even just writing it on your phone. So make sure you open up your notes application. If you do have questions about anything, then please, guys, if you don't mind, keep them for the end of the webinar. You can write them down so you don't forget, because obviously it's going to be really hard for me to do the whole presentation and teach you guys everything, and at the same time be answering individual questions. So please keep the questions for the end wherever you can. And the final rule, of course, no negativity or trolling or hating or anything like that, please. We're obviously on this journey together, and that's definitely what makes our production community so strong. All right, so let's jump right in, guys. What are the top ways to make money selling beats in 2018? So what I've done is I've sort of come up with a list of 10 strategies that are really going to help you guys maximize your revenue. And the strategy number one I want to talk about, which is probably the most sort of popular and well-known one, is beat licensing. But really, I want to take it to a new level and give you guys some advanced tips about this. So when you're selling your music licenses as a music producer, if you're doing it online, then principally you're probably going to do it through some kind of a personal website. So you can see there, maybe some of you guys have been on my own website, which is annodomination.com, or maybe you've been to superstarro.com. And these are sort of some examples of big producers' online presences. And selling licenses to your beats, even not necessarily just if you're a producer that principally sells online, but for every producer, it's becoming more and more the bread and butter of what you do in the digital age. You'd be surprised how many major artists and how many major record labels are actually searching for licenses for beats online. They're not necessarily always inviting producers into studio sessions or anything like that, but they're actually searching actively online. Of course, you don't need your own website though, because that can obviously be time intensive and expensive to set up. But there's many awesome solutions right out of the box. Platforms like Airbit, for example, or BeatStars, which is my personal preference. And even if you have your own website, I highly recommend also having a sort of platform as a backup. So as well as my own website, I also have a BeatStars page just in case my own website ever goes down or there's some kind of a data breach or something like that happens. And also, of course, having presences on these platforms is also a great way to potentially reach new fans and listeners and eventually customers, because these websites, they come with their own user groups, and sometimes they're just going to randomly discover your music, and you might end up getting a lifetime customer out of that. So I always suggest to have at least one backup website. Now, when it comes to actually maximizing how much money you make selling licenses to your beats online, there's basically a few tips that I want to give you guys. So almost all of you, I'm sure, have heard of lease or non-exclusive license, am I right? So that's kind of the most basic, simple license that artists, that producers, are selling. And I'm sure most of you guys have also heard of an exclusive license. Now, the difference between a non-exclusive and an exclusive is essentially that with an exclusive license, the artist that buys that beat then owns it, and you have to mark it as sold, and you can't license it to several artists anymore. Whereas with a non-exclusive license, you can carry on selling a beat to an unlimited amount of artists. So you retain control of that beat, which is obviously nice because you can monetize it essentially forever. The other difference is that with an exclusive license, usually what happens is that the artist buying it gets to sell an unlimited amount of sales units. So he can record a song, he can sell it on iTunes or in a store, and he can sell unlimited copies. Whereas with a non-exclusive license, usually that would be limited to a certain amount of units. So for example, 1,000 units or something like that. Now, I highly suggest a lot of producers, they just look at non-exclusives as a sort of a one-shot deal. So they have one price for non-exclusive licenses and they have one price for exclusive licenses. But I actually highly recommend that you sort of break down your non-exclusive licenses into several different license types. And the way you do that is, for example, by capturing the extreme low end of your customer groups by offering a low introductory rate for the kind of hobby enthusiasts or the artists who don't have a big budget, who maybe only have like 10 to 20 bucks or something to spend on a beat, and who are happy to perhaps only get the MP3 format beat, which is sort of a lower quality file. Because again, they're just recording for maybe a free mixtape they want to give out, or they're just doing it because it's a passion of theirs. So those kind of people, they have a low budget and they're not willing to spend a lot of money. So you want to make sure you offer some kind of a license type for those. And again, you can offer, like I said, a sort of a low resolution file type, like an MP3, and maybe only give them 500 to 1,000 units. Now, moving on from there, you also want to sell a license to the slightly more serious artist, the guy who has a slightly bigger budget, who might be with like an independent record label or who has made sales in the past, so he has a bit of money saved up, and who also wants the higher quality file type, so a WAV file, for example, because obviously he wants a better sound quality. In those kind of artists, they're probably happy to spend more like $20 to $40 for a license. So you want to make sure that as well as the low entry-level license, you also have some kind of a license for these more serious artists. Otherwise, you're cutting out automatically one segment of your target market, which obviously isn't great. And then finally, you can also split a non-exclusive license into an unlimited non-exclusive license. So this is really for the serious artists who are planning to move a lot of units, but they don't necessarily quite have enough money to buy exclusive rights from you. So you might be selling an unlimited license anywhere from sort of $30 to $200. So it's right in that sweet spot between a non-exclusive license and the price of an exclusive. And again, this is for the more serious artists who are moving a lot of units. They want a higher distribution count. And obviously, you could also throw in something like the track outs for them as a bonus. But I actually recommend always offering track outs as a completely separate add-on to your licenses, because you never know who in that sort of MP3 segment or in that WAV segment or in that unlimited sort of target consumer group is interested in spending a little bit more money to get the track outs. So if you guys don't know what track outs are, they're essentially the stems of a beat. So like the bass, the kick, the hi-hat, the melodies, all broken down into separate files. And some artists really want those for studio mixing and mastering or making changes. So as you can see, I highly recommend basically breaking down your licenses into several different types at different price points. And then you can throw in those additional price items, some sort of add-on items like track outs. And then all of a sudden, for example, like a $10 MP3 license will turn into a $40 license with track outs. So that's all additional revenue. Now, another license type that a lot of producers completely neglect is the synchronization license, or a sync license. And a sync license basically targets a completely different consumer group, because the non-exclusives and the exclusives, they're mechanical licenses for artists, whereas sync licenses, they're for advertisers and media professionals and broadcasters. So a synchronization license is basically when you're using a piece of music and you're syncing it up with a moving picture. For example, if somebody uses some music in a TV show or a movie or a website or something like that. So again, you want to make sure that you're not cutting yourself out of that entire market of potential customers. So you want to offer a synchronization license. And again, with this, you can also break it down into different synchronization licenses. For example, a sync license for YouTube use only, for those kind of hobby video makers who just need like a piece of background music for their YouTube video. And then you can also offer a more expensive sync license to broadcast users. For example, if somebody wants to use your beat in a TV show or a podcast or a video game or something like that. So obviously you want to be charging them a higher price point because they have a bigger budget and they're willing to pay more. So as you can see, guys, it's all about sort of thinking about all the different consumers that you can reach and not cutting yourself out of certain sort of consumer groups and what people are willing to spend and what people are looking for. So when talking about beat licensing, I just want to give you guys a couple of important sales tips and also some marketing tips. Now, in terms of the sales, one of the most effective tactics that you can use is to use buy one, get one free deals and sales. So with buy one, get one free deals, I'm sure you've seen so many producers, they'll just throw out like these promotions like buy one, get one free. But for me personally, I always go with a buy two, get one free. Because I feel like if somebody is looking for your beats and looking to buy something, they were already going to at least purchase one beat. So why would you reward them with another free beat for just doing what they were going to do anyway? So for me personally, I like to do a buy two, get one free, because that encourages your customers to essentially add an additional beat to their shopping cart, which they wouldn't have otherwise bought. The other type of discount and deal that you can do is like a percentage-based or a dollar value-based discount. So for example, you could do like a 50% flash sale, or you could do like a $5 off all licenses sale, where the dollar value off is actually usually more attractive to customers because they love the sort of idea of getting a dollar value back instead of just getting a percentage off. So psychologically, it actually makes more sense, and they feel like they're getting even better value. I also highly recommend creating a roadmap for yourself of all the big holidays and sales days throughout the year. So right now it's obviously the start of 2018, so I suggest you guys think about all the sort of holiday days and sales days that are coming up, for example, Memorial Day and Easter, and you actually create a little calendar for yourself and decide what kind of discounts and promotions you're going to offer, because you don't want to get caught like last minute just trying to put something together and then it's not as effective as it could be, because you want to probably create some graphics, you probably want to send out some emails and stuff like that. So you want to make sure that you're planning well in advance for these events. Another little tip from me, and this might sound kind of cheesy to some of you, but I'm sure you've heard of the concept of psychological pricing. So if you're charging, for example, $30 for a beat license, it actually, in the mind of consumers, it sounds like a lot less money if you're charging just 1 cent less at $29.99. So don't ask me why, but that's just how it works. I know it sounds cheesy, but trust me, this stuff works. So if right now you're charging a nice round number for your licenses, I recommend you guys just experiment with this and see if it makes a difference. And then finally, I just want to mention that obviously, as a producer selling online with thousands of other producers competing with you, you should compete on price to an extent. So you don't want to completely price yourself out by asking for thousands of dollars for a license, because no one's going to take you seriously because everyone else is charging so much less. But at the same time, you want to avoid a race to the bottom. So by that, I basically mean you don't want to compete and engage in like a price war where you're constantly lowering your prices. I see some producers out there selling beats for like $5, which is ridiculous. I mean, at that point, you're selling yourself short and you're giving the illusion of providing a low quality service. Because if an artist browsing the net for beats sees that most of the producers are selling beats for 20 to 30 bucks, and then they come to your site and you're selling them for $5, they're probably going to assume that either you're not as good a producer or you're trying to run some kind of a scam on them. So don't sell yourself short, okay? Now, a couple marketing tips. First of all, I always like to mention that the single most powerful tool in the arsenal of an online producer is to build an email list. Absolutely, hands down, the most valuable asset that you can have. And the reason for that being, once you have a customer's email or a potential customer's email, you can carry on promoting to them basically forever. So you can send out a newsletter every week, just running them through the latest beats you have or giving them some kind of value and turning them into customers. Whereas if you send out a tweet or you do a Facebook post, I'm sure you guys will know within like a couple of hours, they're so far down the page that no one's responding to them anymore. So they're only really relevant for like a couple minutes and then they're gone forever. Whereas an email, you can fire off as many times as you want to your list and just promote to people forever, essentially. The other nice thing is that basically you can exponentially grow your email list once you have a couple of buyers' emails. I'm actually curious, guys. Let me know, how many of you guys currently have an email list? How many of you guys are collecting your customers' emails? Because I feel like for a lot of producers, they're not taking advantage of this at all, and they really should be. Because what you can do once you have just a couple of emails, you can actually exponentially increase those by, for example, creating a lookalike audience using Facebook ads. And if you guys have never used Facebook ads before, oh, by the way, I'm seeing a couple of producers saying they have one. Anthony says he has a list. Keith has a list. Brandon does, but I know a bunch of you guys probably are still struggling with this. So the way you can grow your email list is by creating a lookalike audience using Facebook ads. And you essentially just import your list of customers, and then Facebook will spew out a list of similar customers. So they'll probably be looking for people who have similar interests, for example, rapping or MCing or battle rapping or something like that. And then it will essentially create you a list of thousands, if not tens of thousands of similar customers that you can market to through Facebook ads. So that's how it's really powerful, even if you just have an email list of like 100 customers, because you can turn that into 1,000 and more really quickly. Now, the way you entice people to join your email list initially, and by the way, guys, you can set up a free email list on sites like MailChimp.com, for example, which is what I use. And they also give you some awesome codes that you can just embed on your site to have those little pop-up boxes for email list signups. But the way you entice people to enter their email is usually by offering something for free or some kind of value. So that could be a free beat, for example, or a free ebook, or maybe a discount coupon, which is actually my personal favorite. Because if you give someone a discount coupon, it's still a great incentive to join your email list, but then you already know that they're going to be using that discount coupon to make a purchase. So not only are you getting an email, you're also essentially, hopefully, enticing someone to purchase something from you. So that's pretty sweet right there. It's like a 2-in-1. Now, just as important as it is to get people to sign up to your email list, it's also really important to curate your email list. And what I mean by that is don't just spam people. You want to basically create a dialogue. You want to talk to people. You want to treat them as a valued sort of friend almost, not just a customer that you market to. And you do that by essentially giving people a value, sending out information. For example, you could show them some tools and tips to better record, or to how to blow up their social media or something like that. And really, you don't just want to be constantly promoting your beats to them, because they want to feel like they're on a journey with you and that you're their personal producer. So any kind of marketing that you do, remember to not give people a hard sell. You want to give them a soft sell by basically providing value, and then amongst sort of all the emails and posts that you make providing value, every once in a while you can promote your new beats or your sales or whatever it is. Because the fastest way to get people to unsubscribe or to tune out to what you're saying is by just basically constantly spamming them. So please, guys, don't do that. Now, the same way as I mentioned with emails, the same way also goes for social media. So you really want to start a dialogue and create a story about yourself. You want to brand yourself. You want to make it about you as the producer. You don't just want to be a faceless corporation. So people really want to join you on this journey and feel like they're part of what you're doing. And Superstar is definitely a guy who takes full advantage of that and does a really good job. So you can see his Instagram here, for example. At any given time, he has all these various little video shows he's doing. He's always taking pictures of what he's up to. You can see he's taking pictures of his cars. He's taking pictures of the art he likes, the tattoos he's getting, not just the beats he's making, right? So really, your artists want to feel like they're connecting with you, and that's how you create a long-term lasting relationship. And on social media, you can do that through public posts, which are tweets or Facebook posts, and also at the individual level through direct messaging and messaging through Facebook. So especially if you're a new producer, so shout out to all the sort of fledgling producers that are just starting out, but it can actually be very, very valuable for you guys to initially seek to get some sales by direct messaging artists themselves. So you can hit them up, you can ask them, give them some feedback on their music, and eventually just form a relationship and do that kind of one-on-one selling. So again, if you don't have a big brand to rely on yet, then perhaps the sort of individual one-to-one level could be a great way for you to make those initial sales and to start growing your brand and your name. All right, so that was all just strategy 1, beat licensing. And for me personally, I always like to back up what I'm talking about with facts. So that's why, not to brag or anything like that, but really just to show you guys what's possible and to inspire you, I always like to give you some financials. So I always like you guys to share in what I'm talking about so you can see that this stuff works. I'm not just talking out of my ass. And you can see here, for example, just for beat licensing and just from our PayPal account, there was sort of my best month last year. We made almost $90,000. So this is a screenshot of my PayPal on the left. And for the entire year, just from beat licensing, I made $336,000 last year. And you can see that sort of compares pretty similarly to the previous year, 2016. So guys, the beat licensing can be very profitable, and you can turn into a full-time producer that's really doing great numbers just from selling online and just from following these kind of strategies. All right, so licensing beats is obviously not the end of the line. It's just the start. Too many producers, they think that being a producer and selling beats is just about selling licenses, and that's literally the only thing they think about. But there's actually a ton more strategies that you can use to sort of earn yourself a great revenue. And strategy number 2 that I want to talk to you guys about is monetization. So when we're talking about monetization, what I mean is basically making money from advertising. And the 2 big platforms that you can do that on are YouTube and SoundCloud. And many people don't know this, but YouTube and SoundCloud are actually the 2 biggest music repositories in the entire world. So that means the most amount of songs are being uploaded to SoundCloud and YouTube out of all websites. And YouTube is obviously the biggest one, even though it's a video platform, it actually has the most music on there than anywhere else in the entire world. So that's why it's so important for you guys to also have a presence there. So by the way, guys, I see a few questions coming in. If you guys don't mind, again, it would be really helpful if you wrote down your questions and you save them for the end of the presentation, just so we can get through everything. And then I promise I'm going to take all the time to answer your questions, Sean and also Mike first, okay? So the way it works is that basically you get paid that every time someone plays your songs and videos through these embedded advertisements on both YouTube and SoundCloud. So on YouTube, for example, roughly speaking, about every 1,400 plays of your video, you're going to be earning about $1. And the way that you can sort of get in on this is through YouTube monetization by a process called Content ID. And there's like a bunch of different third-party providers. There's also YouTube directly through their partner program that will enable your videos for Content ID. So for example, BeatStars has an inbuilt service where you can submit to Content ID, which I use, and also places like Rumblefish and TuneCore and so on. The SoundCloud monetization happens through a process called On SoundCloud. And again, BeatStars actually has a feature where you can monetize on SoundCloud, but you can also apply directly through SoundCloud Premiere. And, you know, once you build up your presence and you're on YouTube for a long time, like I've been, you get one of these fancy silver play buttons here on the right side for surpassing 100,000 subscribers. And then you're obviously getting a bunch of plays and making a pretty good income. So just to kind of take a step backwards, I just wanted to explain to you, in case you don't quite grasp the concept, how monetization works. So essentially what happens is you upload a piece of music to SoundCloud or to YouTube, and your content is played on those platforms by just random users. They sort of search for example, hip-hop beats, they find your beat, they click on it and play it. And then basically YouTube Content ID finds your copyrighted content, it identifies it, and then it puts advertisements in those videos or sort of next to those videos. And every single time that someone sees one of those ads or clicks on one of them, you get paid. So obviously the way you get paid more and more is by blowing up your YouTube and your SoundCloud and getting more and more subscribers and viewers. And the way that you guys can do that is first and foremost by posting regular content. For example, 1 beat per day or per week. And you want to make sure that you stick to that schedule. So if you guys are sitting on, for example, right now, like 50 or 100 beats and you've never posted them to YouTube or SoundCloud, please don't just upload them all at once, okay? Because that's like a one-shot deal. A bunch of people might click on them initially and then no one else after that. What you really want to do is you want to have a regular schedule of posting things and then stick to it so that people can constantly find new and new material on YouTube from you, and that will really encourage people to subscribe to your channel too. And I know it can be really sort of time consuming to upload new content every day or every week to YouTube and SoundCloud. So a little professional tip from me is to use a platform like tunes2tube.com where you essentially upload a beat and a background picture, and then it will automatically schedule your beats to be released on YouTube and SoundCloud at the same time. So that's a huge time saver right there. Another top tip to blow up your YouTube and your SoundCloud is to use keywords. And if you don't know what a keyword is, it's sort of a string of words or a single word which people are searching. So for example, a dark hip hop beat or Lil Wayne type beat, that would be a keyword phrase. And as you know, people go on YouTube and they type these kind of keyword phrases into the search bar. And you only show up if YouTube or SoundCloud feel like that your content is relevant for that particular search. So you really want to make sure that you're repeating certain keywords in 3 main areas, which is your song and video title, again in the description, and also in the tags. And basically there are 3 different types of keywords. There's the type keywords, so for example like a Drake type beat. There's the genre keywords, so for example a trap beat. And then there's also the mood keywords, which are for example a dark rap beat or a I don't know, a spooky beat or something like that, happy beat. And those are also in order, the way I've put them there, in how popular they are. So the type beats are kind of ruling the search results right now. So if you have a bunch of, I don't know, Post Malone type beats or something right now, they could be doing really well. Another tip from me is as well to use high quality images or visualizers for your uploads and also for your thumbnails. Because when people are browsing through search results on those sites, they're going to click on something that looks appealing and interesting. So if you just have like a text image of the name of your beat, then that's not going to be really enticing. That's not really clickbait for people to click on. What you want instead is some high quality pictures or something exciting and interesting that makes people want to click. Another top tip as well, create playlists for YouTube and create groups for SoundCloud. Because often in the search results, what comes up aren't just individual pieces of music, but also playlists that are relevant and groups that are relevant. So you always want to kind of aggregate the beats that you upload into playlists. For example, you could make some playlists on YouTube for all your trap beats or an R&B beats playlist or something like that. And you'll find that that's going to exponentially increase the amount of sort of clicks and views you're getting because people are also searching for and finding your playlist as well as the beats within that playlist. Another thing that you guys can sort of experiment with is the use of annotations and cards and descriptions to essentially embed your links, for example, in a YouTube video. So with an annotation, what happens is you can create like a little box that pops up inside your video and can actually link people back to your website or somewhere else, which makes YouTube and SoundCloud that much more valuable because not only are you getting paid for advertising, but you can also use it as a sort of marketing platform to find new customers. So they might listen to a beat that they like, and then they have the option to click on a link to go directly to your website and purchase it. So there's actually an added sales incentive right there for you guys. And as with YouTube, as with sort of social media and with email that I mentioned, for YouTube and SoundCloud, it's also really important that you engage with your audience. So again, it's that whole concept of creating a story and not just sort of uploading beats, but also taking them on a journey behind the scenes, maybe doing some beat making videos, some vlogs. And of course, you always want to make sure you're replying to every comment and message, because again, it's really important to not just promote to people, but to actually take them on a journey and to feel like they're inclusive and they're part of sort of the movement. Of course, if you want to get a ton of subscribers, a great way to do that is to network with other big channels and big subscribers, maybe have them repost your content or work on something together and cross-collaborate. That can be a great way to sort of instantly, massively increase your subscriber base by working with one of those big channels. And again, you grow your audience and you get more plays and you make more advertising income by encouraging subscriptions. But the sweet thing about monetization is that you don't just get paid for your own uploads. Essentially, you can get paid for every single person that uploads your music to YouTube or to SoundCloud, which might actually happen pretty often if you're a music producer and giving out, for example, free demo beats, because a bunch of artists are probably downloading the tag demos, recording on them, and posting it to YouTube. And the sweet thing is, if you're the copyright owner, you can actually sort of make all of that income yourself. So even though the ads are being shown on someone else's video, you're the one who's benefiting from that. And for that reason, it's actually a pretty great tactic to give away some free music. A lot of producers are overly protective of their work, but essentially you don't always have to sell your music to monetize it. Because even if people download your music for free and they're using it for some kind of non-commercial purposes, whether that's a demo song, if they're an artist, or if they're using it in films and videos or trailers or whatever it is, then you can actually make money from the monetization program. Every single time that someone uses your music in a YouTube video, you can get money paid out to you. So like I said, ads are showing up on someone else's video, but every single time someone sees that ad, you're making all the money. That's pretty sweet, right? And it pretty gives you something to think about if you're not currently giving out any kind of free beats or anything like that, because it opens up a whole nother way to make money by essentially giving away free music. Now again, guys, let me talk to you about what you can earn by monetization. So one of my best months I had with monetization, sort of back in 2016, I was consistently making anywhere from $4,000 to $5,000 just from monetization. So you can see there the majority of that was from YouTube Content ID, but also a bunch from other places like SoundCloud, Sound Exchange, and so on. Now these days, YouTube isn't paying out as much as they used to, but I'm still making anywhere from $2,000 to $3,000, sometimes a little less, sometimes a little more, depending on the season. Round about Christmas time, all the advertisers have big budgets, so they're spending more money for advertising, so you get paid out more. But again, this is free money, guys. This is just you posting the beats you already have on platforms and then making money from advertising, from people just looking at them, basically. All right. By the way, shout out to Mario. I'm glad you're sort of enjoying the webinar so far. I've got a bunch more stuff to share with you guys. So let's talk about strategy number 3, streaming. So when we're talking about streaming music, there's essentially 4 big platforms that you want to be concerned with. And those are Spotify, Pandora Internet Radio, Apple Music, and more recently, there is Tidal. Now, one thing that a lot of producers never even think about, but which is a huge and largely untapped market, and that is streaming for beats and instrumentals. So what you can do actually is you can upload your beats either as singles, or you can sort of aggregate them into compilation albums, and you can upload them to those platforms that I mentioned. When you're doing the compilation albums, for example, just to give you some ideas, you could sort them by genre. You could have like a trap beats collection of like 20 trap beats or something like that. Or you could do like a mood-based thing, like a dark beats collection, or even like a piano collection, so instrument-based. And then what you do essentially is you upload them to Spotify, or you upload them to Pandora and so on. And they actually pay you for streams. Now, what you can also do is if you've created a bunch of songs with artists and they gave you permission to sort of monetize and use them, is you can upload mixtapes and albums created with your beats too. And then, like I mentioned, you get paid per stream, and sometimes in some cases also as a profit share. So the more money that Spotify is making, the more money you're making too. Now, the way you get your beats up on these kind of platforms is by registering either directly through the service, or you can go through a third-party distributor, someone like CD Baby or DistroKid or TuneCore, who are automatically going to send them to all of the platforms at once. So it kind of saves you a bit of time, but obviously it costs a little bit of money up front. With Pandora, it's a little more tricky. You have to sort of jump through a few extra hoops if you want. But all you have to do is you go to submit.pandora.com, you register for a free artist account, and then you literally just sort of input your information and upload your music. And then it takes them, I think, a couple of weeks usually to verify the content and then get it up. And then before you know it, your beats are on the radio. So again, let's talk about what you can earn with beat streaming. So as you can see here, here's a screenshot of my artist account in Spotify. And on Spotify alone, I started uploading stuff in 2015. And to date, we've had over 3.69 million streams. So in the course of about 3 years or so, if you sort of think about the fact that Spotify on average pays at about $0.008 per stream, that's made us almost $30,000. And again, guys, this is completely free money. Like, you're not selling licenses to your beats or anything. People are literally just listening to them on Spotify. That's it. And that's made me $30,000. And you can see there recently, I've been falling off a bit because I've been slacking off with uploading music. I've been so busy. But sort of in the heyday, like a year ago or half a year ago, we were getting millions of streams every single month. Okay, let's talk about strategy number 4. And this kind of ties in with the streaming, but this is slightly different. This is MP3 downloads. So have you guys ever thought of, for example, putting your beats up on iTunes, for example? Let me know if any of you guys have ever sold a beat single on iTunes. And what you're doing when you upload to platforms like iTunes, for example, is you're capturing the extreme low end of the market. So typically you're selling an MP3 for like 99 cents or maybe $1.99 at most. For a single or for a complete beat tape or album, you're selling them for like $9.99 usually. I see Joel's done that before, so that's cool, man. But it's pretty nice in the sense that you're basically capturing the extreme low end of the market, the people who are just casual listeners. You know, they just want to download your beat because they like the sound of it. These might be fans. They might be using it for like car music or for workout music or something like that. They just enjoy listening to beats. They're not necessarily artists who want to use beats to make profit with. So it's a completely different target market again. And in the same way, we're talking about the playlist principle again. You're essentially aggregating your assets into new assets. So you're just sort of bundling the beats that you already have and putting, for example, 20 beats together and then repackaging that and selling it as something completely new. And all of a sudden you're making more money again. So you're essentially making your assets work harder for you. You already have a beat, you're already monetizing it through maybe beat licensing, but now you can also make money from streaming, from advertising, from maybe even selling the MP3 downloads. So I'm calling this like casting the net, because what you're doing is you're essentially throwing your music out there, you're uploading it to all these different platforms like Rhapsody or Amazon MP3 or Google Play. And then what happens, the casual listener, they're just kind of browsing around. They might find your music, they might enjoy it, listen to it, and then download your MP3 beat, single, and album. And then you get paid a percentage of the revenue from those platforms. So just to give you an idea of sort of all the different distributors that you could use and go with to get your music up on all these sites like iTunes and stuff. Of course, you have TuneCore, you have CD Baby, you have DistroKid, you have Reverb Nation, and so on. Personally, for me, I use CD Baby. I just like them best, and they have some really great tools. By the way, I got this screenshot from songhack.com, so if you want to research this a bit more and figure out which solution might be best for you, you can just check that out over there. So again, guys, let's talk about what you can earn with MP3 downloading. And as I mentioned, I use CD Baby. I've used them for 4 or 5 years. And as you can see there to date, they've made me over $56,000 just from MP3 downloads for my beats and mixtapes and stuff like that. I even released a producer album through them back in the day, Secret Archives Volume 1 and Secret Archives Volume 2. I don't know if any of you guys remember those. It was a while ago. But essentially, you can see that from selling MP3 downloads, you can actually make a pretty good chunk of change. So again, just think about repackaging your assets and making your assets work harder for you. All right, in that same vein, let's talk about strategy number 5, which is beat bundles. Now, I keep drilling this, I know it's probably getting repetitive, but think about repackaging your assets always. So when you're creating a beat bundle, you might, for example, release an instrumental album or a beat tape, or you might do some like genre or instrument-based bundles. Or also, my personal favorite, you can do a special sale bundle. For example, a best of 2017 beats collection, or a Black Friday beat collection, which is what I personally do once a year. So for me, I've released a bunch of different beat albums through the years. For example, I had the Indecipher instrumental collection. I also recently released a collection called The Best Rapper Alive. And the way I do it is that I will release one of these instrumental albums, and they might have, for example, 10 to 20 exclusive and unreleased beats on them. So I'm marketing this as like a really exclusive, premium, exciting product, and artists love it because they've never heard the beats before. They're sort of really high-end and unreleased beats, and they're excited to buy these bundles. And then, of course, like a year later or whatever, you can release the beats normally through the website too, once the sort of exclusivity part of it is over. And with the Best Rapper Alive beat tape that we released recently, we actually coupled that with a contest too, which I'm going to talk about just a little bit more in a minute. For the special sales bundles, one thing that you guys might have seen me do is once a year, up until recently at least, I did these sort of yearly Black Friday beat packages where I would bundle up sort of a huge amount of beats from our producers and then sell them onto artists for an extremely low price. So, you know, these will be beats that are like a year old or something, so they're not really making sales anymore. So I just kind of aggregate them and then give them to artists at a really low price point, like a really great introductory offer. And of course, artists love it because they get a huge amount of beats for a small price. And us as producers, we love it because we're getting a bunch of sales and a whole lot of money from beats that weren't really selling anymore anyway. So again, when you're doing this kind of a launch, when you're doing a beat bundle release, you want to build a story. Again, I'm always talking about the same things because they're tried and tested. So bundles and collections of beats should always be accompanied by some kind of a launch story. You really want to give your audience a reason for why you're releasing these beats and why you're putting them together into this bundle. So, for example, you want to figure out your unique sales proposition. Is it, for example, a really low price point, or is it like the exclusivity thing, like, you know, these beats aren't even released to the public yet? Or is it like a time constraint? For example, these beats are only around in this package for like a week or whatever it is. So give your audience a reason why. And obviously, you wanting to make more money is not a good reason why for the average artist. What is a good reason why is, for example, hey, I put together this bundle of beats because I want to give something back to the artist community. I want to give you some of my best beats from the last year for a really low price point as a thank you, or something like that. Or another good reason why is even like a seasonal thing, like, hey, it's Christmas time and I really wanted to hook you guys up with a Christmas present, so here's a Christmas beat bundle. You get 25 beats for 25 bucks, or whatever it is, you know? And another really effective strategy as well is to couple your releases with events. For example, a contest. So like I mentioned, for the Best Rapper Alive beat tape, what we did is we gave out the beat package to artists, and everyone who purchased it, as a bonus, they could enter a contest and win however many hundreds of dollars. So that's like a really cool incentive for artists to basically buy the beat tape and then also have the promise of potentially winning a prize. So again, let me just show you guys what you can actually earn from this kind of a tactic. And just from the sort of bundle package sales and the Black Friday sale and stuff like that that we did, for the year of 2017, that earned me personally $266,000. So that's in addition to sort of the regular beat licensing and stuff like that. You can see a snapshot from our Stripe account, which is our sort of credit card processor. And that's what we use to run these kind of special bundle deals and discounts through. So really, like, bundling up the exact same beats that you already have into new collections, you can almost double your income. Pretty crazy, right? All right, let's talk about strategy number 6. Let's talk about subscriptions. Now, when we're talking about subscriptions, what we're really talking about is creating passive income. Because I'm sure you guys feel me on this, but as a music producer, money just kind of comes and goes. Am I right? I'm sure some of you guys have experienced this before, where you have like an awesome month where you're killing it, you're making tons of sales, maybe it's Christmas or something like that. But then the next month, all of a sudden, you're barely making any sales. So it's really like up and down, right? And really, obviously, chasing sales every single day is a really strenuous and arduous process. And sometimes it can be really demotivating as a music producer when you're in a dry spell. So definitely Chronic Beats knows what I'm talking about. Also, Terrence. And of course, if you have that kind of an up and down movement in your sales, it makes it really difficult to plan ahead financially. So, for example, if you're a music producer and you're trying to save up for a wedding like I was, or you're trying to save up for a house deposit, or you're trying to put your kids through school, or whatever it is, then it's really difficult to plan financially if your sales are inconsistent. So the answer, my friends, is to create guaranteed income that you can depend on. And you can do that through subscriptions. So for me, for example, I have this thing called the Inner Circle, which is my artist development program, where essentially artists, they pay me a monthly subscription fee in exchange for getting all of my newest beats sent to them every month automatically. So this is obviously a win-win situation because the artists get a bunch of beats, they're sent to their inbox, it's super easy for them. And for me, it's really nice because I get a guaranteed income from them every month that I can depend on. So when we're talking about subscriptions, what you really want to do is to leverage your existing customer base. So the bigger your existing customer base is, the more effective a subscription model is going to be, because you already have customers who you know want your beats, and you're just offering them what they already want, essentially. And what you're then going to do is you're going to offer them a great deal that they can't refuse. So a nice discount to essentially commit to sending you monthly income. And you're also obviously making the beat buying process that much easier for them. So you really want to sort of drill that and sort of frame that as one of the key benefits. And then finally, you want to also think about throwing in some additional perks and benefits as a sort of added bonus to subscribing. For example, maybe you give them a free mix and master every month, or you give them some special coupon discounts or access to ebooks or whatever it is. So leverage your customer base, throw in some additional perks, and give them what they already want. So again, let me show you guys what you can make from subscription models. And I use a company called ChargeBee. They sort of run our subscriptions, and you can see there a screenshot. I've made to date about $323,000 from artists through this subscription model. And in the middle, you see where it says MRR, that stands for monthly recurring revenue. So you can see that every single month, I'm guaranteed at least almost $10,000, which is great because that makes it so much easier for me to plan ahead, because I know that no matter what, I'm at least going to make that much money that much money next month. All right, that brings us to strategy number 7, sync placements. So if you guys remember sync, it stands for synchronization, and it's all about matching music to moving pictures. So when we're talking about sync income, there's obviously a upfront licensing fee that usually the broadcasters would pay you, but the sweet thing is that you also get paid back-end royalties. So every single time that essentially your piece of music gets placed and played on the internet or on the radio or on TV, live shows, whatever it is, then you're actually due royalties on the back end. As well as artists, that means you can license your music for usage in movies, in TV shows, in advertisements, and video games, and so on and so on. So there's a huge, huge potential customer base out there waiting for you of not just artists looking to license beats for their tracks, but also these kind of broadcasters who want music all the time for all of these different types of uses. And if you're really trying to get into the music production game, then I highly recommend for you guys that you find a good rep or a really good agency. And I always recommend a boutique small one over a major one. So the reason for this is that with the major big agencies, people like Taxi or Pump Audio or something like that, is that they have tens of thousands of artists and producers on their sites, and they're all submitting to these like placement opportunities. And no one from Taxi is gonna literally give a crap about you because they have so many different artists. They're not gonna go out of their way to try and place your music specifically. So that's why if you're working with a rep personally or you have a small agency, they're gonna go out of their way to really try and place beats because obviously they wanna get paid and they want you to be happy. So try and find a really good rep to represent your music for production usage. Now, the most efficient way to get paid out royalties is by joining a performance rights organization. So if you're in the US, that would be, for example, BMI or ASCAP. If you're in the UK, that would be the PRS. Or if you're in Germany, for example, that would be the GEMA, and so on and so on. And you want to make sure that when you're selling to these users of your music for production use, that you always provide them with your registration information. So in order for you to get paid, they obviously need to enter your information into the cue sheets. So that would be your name, your artist name, which performance rights organization you're with, and also your CAE or your IPI registration number. Now, for me personally and for my company, Anno Domini Nation, we've been lucky to work with a lot of really, really big clients through the years. So we've had our beats placed on, for example, NBA programming. We do a lot of sports highlights for the NFL, for the UFC. And also we've done advertisements for people like Coca-Cola, Ford, MGM, CBS, and so on and so on. And of course, we're also on a ton of TV shows, especially on MTV and VH1. And recently, funny enough, actually, I did some music for a movie called Victor Crowley. I don't know if any of you guys have heard of it. It's a pretty cool sort of horror movie. And of course, one of the little sort of funny music producer perks is that you every once in a while you get to be in a movie or you get to be in a project. So here's a really embarrassing kind of screenshot of me inside Victor Crowley. If you do end up watching it, then see if you can spot me. So let's talk about what you can earn with royalties. Now, when you're releasing a piece of music in a movie that comes out in a theater, what happens often is that when it has its theatrical run, you're going to make a ton of money up front, and then it kind of tapers off pretty quickly. So, for example, back in 2013, I had a piece of music in a movie that was released by Universal, and you can see there for my first royalty check, they sent me $27,000. So that was a happy day. For TV usage, it's more of like a small recurring payments. Because obviously for a lot of these shows, for example, here you can see like Tia and Tamara, which was on VH1, I think, they repeat them over and over again, and also people are constantly streaming them too. So that means even though, even if your beat just gets used for a couple of seconds, and it's like one of thousands of pieces of music inside one episode, and you're just getting paid like $1 or $2 here and there, it actually adds up very quickly. And I think the total of this like payout here for that particular TV show was like $2,000 or something per quarter. So you can see just from the nature of it being repeated and repeated over and over, you get paid a lot. Okay, so this brings us to strategy number 8, which is music libraries. So Talking about music libraries essentially is, again, just expanding your horizon and tapping into new target markets. As a music producer, if you really want to maximize your revenue, you always need to be thinking outside the box and making your assets work as hard as possible for you. There are many, many more users of beats, not just artists. So people might need your music for their websites or for their videos, presentations like this one today, for live events, slideshows, instructional videos, game videos, sports videos, whatever it might be. And in the same way that you have websites like, for example, BeatStars or Airbit or SoundClick for selling your beats, you also have sites like Audio Jungle or Pond5 or Pump Audio for selling your beats for production music. And there's even sort of a lot of specific sites for film music and for advertising music and for video game music that you guys can sort of search out on Google. So for me, every once in a while, I upload some tracks to Audio Jungle. To be honest, I haven't uploaded that many tracks just because I'm so busy all the time. But you can see I've made over 140 sales on Audio Jungle already. And the type of people who are browsing Audio Jungle, for example, would be, like I've said, people who have a website or they have a video and they just need some background music. And obviously, it's always much easier to sync a beat or an instrumental piece of music to a moving picture than it is like a song with lyrics. Because then, obviously, the presenter of the video, they can't be talking over a song with lyrics. So many, many people are actually looking for beats specifically. Now, one thing to bear note is if you upload to some of these sort of big music libraries is to really carefully read your publishing agreement with the site. Some of these sort of sub-publishers, they keep up to 50 to 75% of the royalties, which is obviously very high. But at the end of the day, it's still free money that you wouldn't be collecting otherwise. And you really want to make sure that you're always entering into a non-exclusive publishing agreement. Because otherwise, if you sign an exclusive publishing agreement, that means that you can't sell your beat anywhere else again, and you have to take it down from all your sites. And obviously, you want to be able to be free to still earn revenue from your beats elsewhere. So you still want to be making money from streaming, from advertising, from monetization, from selling licenses, and so on. So just make sure, guys, that you read the small print. Now, this is definitely a mistake I made when I was first starting out. I would just sort of see contracts and I would see the dollar signs and I would just sign whatever. So please don't repeat my mistakes. I definitely learned my lesson back then. So let's talk about what you can earn with music libraries. As I mentioned, guys, this is not really something I spent that much time doing, but even just posting a few beats here and there every once in a while on Audio Jungle, I've made almost $3,000 to date. And that's literally mostly in the course of the last year or two or so. So if you guys really want to take this seriously and upload more beats there than I do, then I feel like you could exponentially make a higher amount than that. All right, let's move on to strategy number 9, building a team. And this kind of relates to this little concept that I call OPB, or other people's beats. I'm sure you guys have heard of OPP. I'm not going to tell you what it stands for, but you can Google it if you don't know. But OPB, other people's beats. As well as selling your own beats, you can also make money from selling other people's beats. So for me, I have my Anno Domini team. For Superstar O, he has his industry beats team, for example. And this is kind of, again, a win-win situation because you offer the platform, you spend the marketing dollars, and you sort of get more brand awareness for the producers that join your team, and they benefit because they're making more sales. And then you obviously take a commission. So it's kind of nice in that sense because everyone's winning. Let's talk about strategy number 10, producer kits. Now, so far, I've kind of been talking about a lot of different ways that you can monetize your beats. And then we also talked about the concept of growing a team so you can exponentially make more money from all the different strategies that we talked about. Because now it's not just your own beats, it's everyone else's beats too, which also makes it much more easy to put out a lot of content. But now I want to kind of take things in a slightly different direction. So far, I've been talking about sort of capitalizing on your own beats, and now I'm going to talk about capitalizing on your sound as a producer. And the main way to do that is by releasing producer kits. Strategy number 10. So packaging your sound, let's talk about, for instance, producers who are always looking for new inspiration and new sounds. If you're anything like me, you probably spend a whole lot of money on constantly updating your sound bank, just buying new toolkits, buying new VSTs, new loop packs, and stuff like that, and new royalty-free samples every once in a while for instant inspiration. So if you already have an established brand in particular and a really quality sound as a music producer, then you can actually package that for other producers. For example, drum sounds, if you're really well known for your drums. For me personally, people really used to love my kicks and my snares and hats and stuff like that. So I turned those into a drum kit. You can also turn presets into libraries and expansions, and you can even turn entire beats that you've already created into construction kits or loop packs. So you can literally take a beat that you've created, you can take the stems, chop them up, and create a construction kit for other producers to use. And of course, the caveat being with any sort of sound product, they just need to chop it up, add something, slice it up, pitch it, or whatever to make it a unique creation. So they're not just going to copy and paste what you make. The only downside, obviously, with sort of producer kits is that it can initially be a difficult process, and it does require some kind of technical knowledge too. And also, obviously, everything must be royalty-free and of your own creation. So you can't just slice up a 70s soul sample and then put it into a pack and sell it. That's a surefire way to land yourself into a whole lot of trouble, so don't do that. So once you've packaged up your sound, you've created your drum kit and your loop kit or whatever it is, you can sell it on various big websites. For example, my own website, which is modernproducers.com, and also Superstar O's website, which is industrykits.com, two of the biggest sort of industry-leading platforms. So again, let's talk about what you can earn from doing this. Now for me, I mentioned earlier, I packaged a bunch of my drums into drum kits and I sell them on sites like Producer Loops, for example. And to date, that's earned me a pretty nifty 29,900 pounds. So Great British pounds, that's about $40,000 just from selling drum kits. So that's not bad at all. And also on the right there, you can see a little snapshot from the sort of Modern Producers sales stats. I had to black out, obviously, all the producers' emails and names because I don't want you knowing everyone else's financials. Obviously, I'm cool with you guys knowing mine because I like to share, but I can't do that for everyone else. But you can see there quite clearly that for the entire last year, a bunch of vendors are making 10 grand plus per year. So I think our top vendor right there has earned $31,600 for a year. But again, there's dozens of vendors making thousands and thousands of dollars on our site alone. All right, guys, so that was a ton of information, loads of strategies for you guys to take away and think about. But now I also want to sort of let you know exactly how you can implement these strategies. So it's all good and well to have the knowledge, but how do you actually make it count? And I'm calling this the Ultimate Producer Success Roadmap. So really, in order to get ahead and to grow your brand and to grow your revenue as much as you possibly can as a music producer, you need three main things. The first thing you need is knowledge and skills. So hopefully today I provided a little bit of knowledge for you guys, and you can take that and you can apply it and you can turn that into a skill by sort of repeating what I do and sort of repeating it over and over until you can do it perfectly. The second thing that is really important is to have the right network and the right support around you. So it's pretty hard to do it all alone and on your own. What you really want is like a big network of other successful producers around you who can pick you up, who can help you, who can support you, give you feedback. And finally, thirdly, and probably most importantly, what you need is sound quality. So all the other stuff doesn't really matter. You're not going to benefit from a whole lot of sales from all the sort of different strategies I mentioned if you don't have quality output to begin with. So bluntly put, if your beats sound crappy, you're probably going to have crappy sales. So as I mentioned, quality, hopefully you guys understand this, stands over everything else. You can have all the knowledge in the world, you can have the best marketing and sales tactics, and you can have huge determination and grit. But unfortunately, guys, if you have poor quality production, then probably you're going to get no views on YouTube and SoundCloud and elsewhere. You're going to get no placements in TV shows and elsewhere. And you're not going to make a whole lot of sales from artists or anyone else. So the most important asset that you as a music producer have is the sounds and melodies that you put out. Therefore, step one is always to improve your quality. So you always want to invest time and money and resources into doing that. And of course, what you put in is what you get out. So a producer can only ever become as good as the sounds he or she uses to produce. So if you're using really crappy sounds to begin with, then your beats are going to sound crappy and you're not really going to be improving as a producer. So if you really want to maximize revenue potential, then you should always compose your own music with high quality sounds, and you should always be also using royalty-free sounds and samples. Because if you sample a lot, which a lot of producers love to do, and I used to too, then you can't actually benefit from, for example, advertising, income on monetization. You can't place your beats in TV shows because they hate clearing samples and they don't do it. And all of that good stuff, you're really limited in a sense. So why does it matter? Why does having good sound quality matter? The reason it matters is because if you have good sound quality, then your music is going to gain more attention and you're going to get more views online. And by token of that same scenario, more people are also going to buy licenses to your music. And it also matters because then more people will actually use your music in their videos, in their TV shows, and whatever else. And more people will also follow you eventually because they see your success. And then you're going to have even more options to maximize your revenue. For example, packaging your sound into sound kits, like I mentioned. So essentially, the takeaway is that better sound is equal to bigger and faster revenue. The better your sounds are, the better your sound quality is, and the better you're going to benefit from all the strategies I mentioned. So we talked about the beat licensing, we talked about monetization, streaming, MP3 downloads, beat bundles, subscriptions, sync placements, music libraries, building a team, and finally producer kits. All right, I know that was a whole lot of information, guys, and thank you so much for being patient. I'm really hoping you guys learned a lot already. So I'm just wondering who here actually got some value out of today's presentation so far. I'm just kind of curious who's picking up some things maybe they didn't consider before, that they didn't know about, or they didn't sort of, even if they knew about them, maybe they didn't sort of implement them in the correct way. So guys, let me know who here actually got some value out of this presentation so far. I see Rich definitely did. Jay Torture as well. Dell was saying he found some interesting stuff, so that's cool. J Plus as well, lots of gems. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. Lots of comments flying in right now. Lots of yeses. Thank you guys so much. I'm really glad that you learned something. And essentially, I'm really excited that I was able to present all this sort of information to you guys. But really, if it's okay with you guys, I'd love your permission to just kind of talk about something very special that I've put together for you. So for everyone who kind of wants to walk away from today's presentation and really take things to the next level and really kick things up a gear, I've got something really, really special. So is it okay if I talk about that for just a couple minutes, guys? Yes? Okay, thank you. All right, so here's the deal. And again, by the way, everyone today is getting obviously the free gift at the end of the presentation. So speaking of sound quality, I obviously want you guys to walk away and hopefully be inspired to not only sort of improve your marketing and sales game, but also to improve the quality of your beats. So remember, at the end, I'm going to give each of you this hi-hat, MIDI, and loop pack to hopefully set you on a way to make some dope beats. Now, for everyone who wants all of the sounds, tools, and the connections that Superstar O and I have personally used to get ahead in our music production careers, we put together a really, really special package for you guys. I'm pretty excited about this, actually. So just a really quick disclaimer, it's obviously not going to be free, but by negotiating with our partners and the vendors that we have through Modern Producers and through Industry Kit, I was able to get you guys a really, really huge discount. And I'm calling this thing the Ultimate Producer Package 2018. So this is really sort of the most valuable thing that I've ever put together. And I really want to show you guys real quick what I've included for you. So hold on to your seats. First of all, this is what I'm going to be sending you guys inside the Ultimate Producer Package. You're going to get the top 10 Modern Producers kits of 2018 and also the top 10 Industry kits of 2018. So this is like the latest and greatest material on both of our websites right now. So some of the stuff that is included, for example, you're going to get the brand new Fingerprint VST, which retails normally for 119 bucks. And inside that is just a huge collection of sounds and samples that you can chop up and use. You're also going to get the brand new Spooker VST, which retails for $99 regularly. And if you guys love your spooky trap beats, if you like some dark atmospheric beats, which are really popular right now, then I think you're going to love this VST. I've also included a bunch of sample packs for you guys. These are, by the way, 100% royalty free. So even though they sound like They sound like soundtrack samples and movie samples. They're actually completely composed and royalty free, so you can use them for any kind of usage you want. So you're going to get the Hell sample pack. You're also going to get a bunch of little construction kits with beats that you can chop up and slice and add to and be inspired by. For example, you're going to get the Shooters construction kit and the Wave construction kit. You're also going to get some expansions for really popular VSTs like Contact and Massive. So I'm going to throw in the Lightwork, a Massive Bank, and the Medusa Contact Library. This one is like a top seller on our website right now. I'm also throwing in a bunch of MIDI packs like the MIDI Maniac. Also from sort of industry kits, you're going to get an 808 Contact Library. So if you guys struggle with your 808s, they're not bassy or not hard enough, then I think you're really going to love that. Also throwing in some mixer presets for FL Studio. So these are really cool because you can just drag and drop them into your mixer for all you FL Studio users. I'm sure a bunch of you guys actually use FL, am I right? But you can just drag and drop them, and they're sort of set into different, grouped into different sections. For example, like some snare mixer presets and also some kick presets to really give you some booming kicks and snapping snares. And again, just a whole lot more stuff like a Contact Library for bass. You're going to get some MIDI and loop packs. And of course, you're also going to get Superstar O's personal sounds. So his personal Omnisphere 2 preset bank, and also his secret stash and producer go-to drum kit. So just a whole lot of awesome stuff. So inside the Ultimate Producer Package 2018, I've put together the top 10 modern producers kits and the top 10 industry kits. So a retail value that's actually $695.21 worth of stuff. But of course, that's not all. You're also going to get the top 20 unreleased kits. So these are completely exclusive and brand new kits that no one else has yet. They're not released on Modern Producers yet. You can't get them anywhere else. For example, I've thrown in the brand new Drum Weapons 3 VST, which is a huge, massive VST with literally drums from every single genre that you could ever want. So entire drum loops and also individual samples. And this beast of a VST is going to retail for 199 bucks. We're also throwing in the brand new Metropolis VST for all you trap beat makers. You're also going to get the 808 Renaissance kit, which is both a Contact Library and also a Wave collection. And by the way, absolutely everything is compatible with all digital audio workstations. So it doesn't matter if you use Studio One, FL Studio, Logic, or whatever it is, you can use all these sounds. I'm also throwing in the entire Anno Domini Drums Life and Death Beat Bundle, which is a collection of actually 3 of Life and Death's drum kits. He's one of my personal Anno Domini producers who's really known for his hard beats. And I think you're going to absolutely love these drums. You're also getting a bunch more stuff from some really well-known vendors, people like Cocktail Loops. You're getting the brand new Lean kit. Also ODM Beats, you're getting his Black Roses kit. And also 2D, who's a multi-platinum producer. You're getting his hat loops and snare loops and a bunch of sort of themed construction kits around popular artists, people like Future and Kodak Black. So you're going to get the Future and Kodak Moment construction kits. And also just a whole lot more stuff, a bunch of Omnisphere 2 banks. You're getting some MIDI packs and a whole lot more. So a huge amount of stuff. So as I mentioned, guys, you're getting the top 10 modern producers kits and the top 10 industry kits worth $695.21. And you're also getting the top 20 unreleased and exclusive kits worth $802.63. So far in this package I put together for you guys, you're getting $1,497.84 worth of stuff. Phew. Now, this one I'm super excited about because what I'm also throwing in the package is lifetime access to my exclusive Platinum Circle Producer Development Program. And what this is basically a tight-knit community of Platinum producers. And you guys are going to become a part of a secret club of producers and artists that isn't available to the public. And you're essentially going to learn from and work with the very best. So we get together in this private Facebook group that is, again, it's not public. You have to be invited to it by me personally. And in that group, I'm going to give you feedback, and all of our producers are going to network with you. You're going to get access to my complete Rolodex of industry contacts, and also every single placement opportunity that comes my way, whether it's for a big artist or for a TV show or whatever it is, I post inside the Platinum Circle for our members to submit to. And even better than that, you also have a chance to actually sell your beats on our website and our partner websites. So for example, I mentioned to you guys that I do these Black Friday beat sales. So for our last 2 Black Friday sales, I gave all our Platinum Circle producers the ability to sell their beats in that package, and then they get paid out the revenues. And of course, you also get personal coaching with me personally. So if you guys enjoyed today's session, it's going to be a similar format. I'm going to walk you through a bunch of different topics. And of course, you can rewatch old sessions. They're recorded for you guys, ready for all our members. All right, so again, this is what's included inside the Ultimate Producer Package 2018. You're getting the top 10 modern producers and top 10 industry kit. You're getting the top 20 unreleased kit. And you're also getting a lifetime Platinum Circle membership, which has a value of $997. So we're talking about a total value of $2,494.84. But of course, that's not it yet. You're also going to get a bunch of awesome bonuses that I've thrown in for you guys. First and foremost, you're going to get the Ultimate Producer Sound Kit tutorial. And this is like a 12-page PDF tutorial where you're going to learn exactly how to create your own sound kits, loop packs, and drum kits. So if you guys were really excited about the sort of idea and the possibility of selling your sound kits and making extra money from that, then this is kind of the ultimate manual to teach you guys how. You're going to be able to diversify your income stream. And best of all, once you work through all of this material and you create your kit, you're actually going to have our team personally review and perfect your kits for you. So we're going to go through, make sure everything is perfect so you can maximize your revenue and sell those kits. And best of all, you actually also get the opportunity to sell your finished kit on modernproducers.com and industrykits.com. So if you create a great kit and we love it, we will sell it on our platforms. So that's pretty huge, right? So let's take a look at the complete bundle. You're getting the top 10 modern producers kits, the top 10 industry kits, the top 20 unreleased kits, the lifetime Platinum Circle membership, and now you're also getting the bonus of the Ultimate Producer Sound Kit tutorial with a value of $97. So we're talking about a pack price of $2,591.84. So a couple more awesome bonuses for you guys too. I'm also going to throw in the Ultimate Producer Record Label Lists, which is basically a collection of PDFs with 3 separate contact lists for both national, international, and independent record labels. And I'm going to give you the full addresses, the phone numbers, emails, and so on and so on. So you can approach these people, you can network with them, and you can essentially hopefully build a relationship and get your songs and beats placed. So really, this is just about making the most of your music and hopefully scoring some placements for you guys. So super valuable. So again, let's walk through what's included in the Ultimate Producer Package. You're getting, as I mentioned, the top 10 modern producers kits, top 10 industry kits, top 20 unreleased kits, lifetime Platinum Circle membership. You get the bonus Ultimate Producer Sound Kit tutorial, and now you're also getting the bonus Ultimate Producer Record Label lists worth $297. They're usually $99 for each of the lists, and you get all 3. So a total value in the package so far of $2,888.84. Now, 2 more amazing bonuses for you guys that I'm really excited about. And this one is probably the hugest one of them all, because you're also going to get the Ultimate Producer ebook and video series. So what I've done is I've actually collected 20 ebooks by my own producers and by myself. And these are sort of covering topics like how to double your fan base on social media, how to earn and collect music royalties, the FL Studio Bible, Music Publishing 101, how to get a record deal and stuff like that. So just a ton of awesome information. Obviously, it's much more in-depth than what we discussed today because I can't talk about everything. I'd be here for days. So a ton of awesome stuff there. Also, though, you're going to get the 200 top industry ebooks on music production and music marketing. So these are kind of from my network of industry people. You're going to get the top 200 ebooks out there, personally curated by myself. And finally, you're also going to get the Ultimate Producer video series. So this is just a bunch of videos walking you guys through, for example, how to score major placements, SoundCloud secrets, how to do YouTube marketing, or how to dominate on BeatStars. So some really, really valuable stuff. So, all right, this package is getting pretty huge already, but we've also included now the bonus Ultimate Producer ebook and video series with a value of $2,937, because each one of those ebooks, usually if you buy it, would cost you $50. And we obviously included 220 of them plus the video series. So we're talking about a total package value of $5,825.84. Now I've just got one last and final extremely special bonus for you guys. And this one is from Superstar O, and it's his How to Sell Beats Online Volume 2. So this is kind of his personal insider tips and secrets by Superstar O himself. So if you guys ever follow this guy, he's really on top of his craft when it comes to marketing and creating a story and selling on places like Twitter and Instagram, where he has, I think, like 70,000 followers or something crazy. So this is like a 2-hour in-depth video by the man himself. And it's both for beginners but also pros. And really, you're going to learn about stuff like social media marketing. You're going to learn about beat selling, networking, and building your customer base. So some really, really awesome material. Just like today's session, which was obviously a 90-minute presentation by myself, this will be a 2-hour presentation pre-recorded by Superstar O. All right, so finally then, that was all the 4 bonuses included for you guys. So one more time, let me tell you what's included. We've got the top 10 modern producers kits, plus the top 10 industry kits, with a combined value of $695 and change. You're also going to get the top 20 unreleased and exclusive kits with a value of $802.63. You're also going to get a lifetime Platinum Circle producer development membership with a value of $997. And then you're also getting the bonus of the Ultimate Producer Sound Kit tutorial with $97, the bonus of the Ultimate Producer Record Label List with $297, the bonus of the Ultimate Producer ebook and video series with a whopping 220 ebooks with $2,937, and also finally the bonus of the How to Sell Beats Online Volume 2 course by Superstar O, which usually has a retail value of $154.95. So we're talking about a complete package value of $5,980.79. So guys, I just have to throw out a little warning for you. Basically, this entire package of stuff is only going to be available for the duration of this live webinar here today. And obviously, we're coming to towards the end of the webinar, so it's going to be a very limited package availability. So I really just want to ask you guys really quickly, just think about this for a brief second. If all this bundle of services and tools did for you was to allow you to make better sounding music, do you think it would be worth it? And if all the bundle did for you was to allow you to make more money by selling your music, would it be worth it? If all the bundle did for you guys was to allow you to build a bigger fan base and actually make passive income, would it be worth it? And finally, if all the bundle did was to set you on the path today to being a successful full-time music producer, would it be worth it? Do you think it would be worth the entire $5,980.79 worth of stuff that's included? Well, here's the deal I've got for you guys, and I'm really excited about this. You can get the entire bundle of stuff for just $347 today, and that's it. You're getting the entire $5,980.79 worth of stuff for just $347 today. And if this sounds exciting for you guys, then you can head over to producerevent.com/go right now, and you can order the package at 95% off. So as I said, this is only going to be available until the end of today's webinar. So again, the special offer is going to be available for just a short amount of time. If you guys are excited by this and you want to get it, you want to really take things to the next level, then please head over to producerevent.com/go. And I've just popped a little box into your comment boards as well. You can just hit that orange order now button if you see that, and it will take you to producerevent.com/go where you can order. Now, for you guys who might be really excited by this, but you don't necessarily have $347 saved up right now, I'm also offering a payment plan. So you can actually pay in 3 monthly installments of just $147, which is obviously perfect for anyone who wants to get on board, who really wants to take their career to the next level, but who doesn't necessarily have the cash saved up right now. So if you want to get the payment plan, go to producerevent.com/go. You can scroll down a little bit on the page, and you will see that there is a blue link linking you to the payment plan. All right, so as with anything that I myself or Superstar do, of course, there's going to be a 30-day money-back guarantee. You can sign up today. If you don't like it for whatever reason, you just let me know, and I'll instantly give you your money back. So I'm that confident that you'll love everything on board. And again, guys, just a warning, this special offer is only going to be around as long as this live webinar is on. And I'm actually going to tune out in just under 30 minutes. So we have about 30 minutes left, which is the sole period where you can buy this bundle. And if you want to head over to producerevent.com/go. All right, guys, so I'm really excited about this, as you can probably tell. This is the single most valuable package of stuff I've ever put together. You're getting $5,980.79 worth of stuff for 95% off. There's nowhere else that you can get a good deal like this one, and you're not going to be able to get this again. So if you want to grab the deal and you want to work with me in the Platinum Circle, you want to get access to the 40+ kits, and you want to have access to the tutorials, the ebooks, and the whole lot, then head over to producerevent.com/go. All right, guys, I just want to thank you so much. That kind of brings us to the end of the main presentation. And I'd love to just kind of open up the floor to any questions that you might have been holding back or any new questions you have. Doesn't matter if it's about the bundle or if it's about the presentation. Just shoot those questions my way, and I'm going to take the next sort of 25 minutes until the end of the webinar to answer those for you. And again, anybody who wants to grab the deal, please head over to producerevent.com/go before it's taken down. But hit me with those questions, guys. Let's see if we got anything that I can answer for you. All right, let's see. I see a few people asking about the payment plan. So if you don't even have $147, then what you can do is you can click on the PayPal link that's on the order page on producerevent.com/go. You'll see if you scroll down, there's a PayPal link. You click on that. And if you're based in the US, then when you log into your PayPal account, it will give you the option to pay with PayPal financing or PayPal credit. So this is an option if you're in the US, I think maybe also the UK. And PayPal financing is pretty cool because you basically get given the money up front and PayPal pays for it, and you just have to pay them back within 6 months, and then it's completely interest-free. So if you think you're going to have $147 or $347 at some point in the next half year, then you can select the PayPal financing option on the PayPal page. Pretty cool. I use that sometimes myself just because it's free money, basically, so you might as well. All right, hit me with those questions, guys. David is asking me, when you upload beats to YouTube, do you tag them? That's a really good question. I suggest that you do tag your beats whenever you give sort of something away for streaming or for a free download, but try to keep it as unobtrusive as possible. So usually what you do is you would have like a tag at the start and maybe one at the end. Because obviously, especially for streaming sites, the last thing people want is to like stream something or download something on iTunes and then have like tags throughout the entire thing. So I think it's perfectly fine to just have like a tag at the beginning or maybe even one at the end too. By the way, I'm super grateful because we seem to have a bunch of awesome producers like Too Deep and Alexander in the comment boards who are also answering questions for you guys. So that's pretty cool. Shout out to you guys. Let's see if I can get any more questions. Louis is asking, when are you guys going to do a mixing and mastering series? So funny enough, like a lot of the questions and the help we get asked for in our Platinum Circle producer group is for mixing and mastering. We actually have some really great studio engineers in the group who sort of give feedback and help people with the mastering. And I might even do a special video for the Platinum Circle group in the future with like some live mixing and mastering stuff. So that's definitely on the cards too. TJ is asking me, what's up with the free drum kit? So again, guys, you're going to get the free kit at the end of the webinar. So we have about 20 minutes left, I believe. And then everyone gets the free drum kit just as a thank you for showing up today. So if you see the little pop-up box in your comment board, you can see we have 24 minutes left until the end of the webinar, which also means there's only 24 minutes left to grab the Ultimate Producer bundle. So if you guys want to jump on this, if you feel like getting $5,980 worth of stuff for $347 at 95% off is a good deal, which it really is, then please go over to producerevent.com/go. If you don't have the money, again, there is a payment plan where you pay 3 times $147. So literally you just pay $147 and you get everything up front. You get all of it right now. You don't have to wait. If you don't even have that, then of course there's always the option of borrowing the money from a family member or a friend. You can ask them for their PayPal or have them buy it for you. Or of course there's the PayPal financing option, as I mentioned. All right, guys, hit me with those questions. I'm going to be around for another 23 minutes live to answer anything you might have. Mike Ross is asking, what do you suggest that producers focus on one genre of music only? So again, this is a really great question. I actually have always believed in being diverse and doing a few different things, because I feel like often when it comes to genres and sort of, you know, different styles, it's like a flavor of the month kind of thing. And the last thing you want is to become known as like the trap soul producer, and then like a year from now, nobody's listening to trap soul. You know what I'm talking about? So please, guys, don't let yourself be pigeonholed. First and foremost, of course, you want to make the kind of music that inspires you and that you're excited about, but also you want to experiment and you want to reinvent yourself. You know, some of these biggest producers like Kanye West, for example, he's constantly coming out with new sounds. He's not stuck in that sort of, you know, his college graduation album series days where he was doing like all the soulful samples. So you always want to be pushing yourself. You want to be branching out. And of course, the more different genres you have, the more sort of versatility and the bigger your customer base is too. Just want to say thank you, by the way. So many awesome questions and comments as well on the boards. I'm glad so many of you really took a lot of value out of today's session. So I'm really appreciative for you showing up, and I'm excited, of course, for everyone getting the bundle. I see a bunch of orders flying in. I'm really excited, especially for you guys to be working with you inside the Platinum Circle, and also for you to make some amazing new beats with all this huge collection of kits. So I know as soon as you purchase this, you're going to be able to instantly download everything. So I know you're going to be instantly inspired to create some beats today, and I can't wait to hear them. All right, hit me with those questions, guys. Alvin is asking, what's the first thing that happens when I buy this package? So here's how the process works. You go to producerevent.com/go, you order the package, and you get instantly forwarded to a download page. And on that page, you're going to see a link to a folder where inside that, you're going to see all of the kits. You're going to see all of the tutorials, the ebooks, and all that good stuff that you can download instantly. Literally, the only thing that is not sent to you instantly is the Lifetime Platinum Circle membership, because as soon as this webinar is over, I need to actually manually invite every new person who's on board. So as soon as this finishes, I'm going to be sending you a personal welcome email, congratulating you for sort of joining our elite team and giving you the access instructions. But all of the other stuff you can instantly download the minute you purchase it. Okay, Alvin? Ursus is saying mine won't download. So first of all, congratulations and thank you for purchasing the bundle. If you're having an issue with the download link, there's also an alternative backup link underneath the main link. So there's like a media file link, and then there's also a Dropbox link. So just click on that and it's definitely going to work. Also make sure if for whatever reason it's not working, you don't have a pop-up blocker activated or something like that. But there's like multiple backup links, and I can also send you a new one if necessary. Let's see. So David is asking me, I'm in the VIP Superstar O service, and I have kits that are there. Can I get other ones? So if you already have any of these kits, guys, please bear in mind, you're getting $5,980 worth of stuff. Even if there's like one or two kits that maybe you already have, you're still getting a ton of value. So really, it took me a long time to negotiate with all these vendors in order to get the price down this far. So I can't really like substitute one kit here and there. This is the package of kits that I and Superstar O personally picked as sort of the best for you guys. So I think you're still getting a huge value, even if, I don't know, you might have read one of the ebooks before, or maybe you've downloaded one of the kits from Modern Producers or something like that. So I hope that makes sense. You're still getting a huge value and discount. Johnny's saying, what advice would you give someone who's first starting out releasing beats? So Johnny, hopefully today kind of opened your eyes as to all the different ways that you can sort of set yourself up to be earning revenue as a producer. But when you're first sort of starting out, as I mentioned, it's really important to work on your sound quality. So make sure you have all the right tools, you have all the right sounds, and then obviously you have the skills too. So just focus on making a bunch of beats, working really hard, and then it's just, you know, a sort of rinse and repeat. You make more and more beats, you get better and better at that, and then eventually you can start focusing more on the marketing and sales side. So once you have the big catalog of high quality beats, then you should start transitioning into spending more time and focusing more time on marketing and selling. At that point, you can probably spend sort of 70% at least of your time marketing and selling the beats that you have, because you know they're high quality, you know they should be selling. But again, Johnny, if you're just starting out, just focus on sort of upping your quality, making sure you have the very best sounds, the best VSTs to use, and make sure you have the right sort of skill set to be creating beats. All right, let's see. Mike Verse is asking, is selling beats on Fiverr a viable income source? I've tried this, man. So I've obviously been doing this for a long time. I've been selling beats online for like 14 years. And I've literally tried every single tactic there is out there. And the reason I didn't put Fiverr in this presentation is because it just doesn't make that much money. Can you make some money? Yes, you can. Is it worth it? Not really. I mean, you're selling probably a big collection of beats for $5. And Fiverr takes a commission as well, so you're actually only earning like $4, and then PayPal takes a commission too. So by the end, you have like $3.60 for every sale, and it's pretty hard even to rack up like 100 sales on there. So honestly, even to make a couple $100 is a lot of work, and I don't really recommend that necessarily. Some producers do it, but honestly, if you really want to go after the most valuable strategies, that is not one of them. All right, let's see. Adrian is asking me, by the way, cool name. My name is also Adrian. Adrian is asking me, selling drum kits with Logic Pro X drums, is that legal? So in order to sell a drum kit, obviously everything needs to be royalty free, which means it needs to be of your own creation. That's not to say that you can't sample something, but guys, you really need to sort of edit it. You need to layer it. You need to add effects and stuff to make sure it's unrecognizable and that it's a unique creation somehow, okay? So a bunch of producers do this. They layer a bunch of drums on top of each other. They add effects. They process it a bunch of times. And that is sufficient to create something new, okay? So you can do that, but you can't literally just sample like some keys from your keyboard or sample some drums from your Logic X drums, okay? You have to do something to them to create something original if you're not recording live drum sounds, which is obviously the preference. All right, let's see. What else we got? Avery is asking me, when you sign up with a PRO, do you have to pay a fee for each track you produced? No, of course not. You don't pay any kind of fees. For some PROs, there's like an initial initiation or a setup fee. So I think others are free, but for example, like for BMI, I believe you need to pay a fee. But then that's it. You pay a one-time membership fee, sometimes like a yearly fee for some, but that's it. You don't pay to be submitting music there or registering your music or anything like that. The whole point of the performance rights organization is for them to look out for your rights and collect royalties on your behalf. They do sometimes take a small commission from the royalties for their services, for the literal services of finding usage of your music and paying it out to you. But that's it. You don't pay a fee or anything like that. Justin, thank you so much. That's a really nice message. I appreciate that. So I'm glad you enjoyed the session. So Justin is asking me if I have any tips for Mixcraft. So I don't personally use Mixcraft, to be 100% transparent with you. So I can't really give specific information about that. But having said that, I know a bunch of producers do. So maybe like some of the other guys in forums have more information about Mixcraft specifically. And again, this will be the kind of question where like many producers inside our Platinum Circle group, where we have, I think, 600 plus members already, they would post that, and then a bunch of other Mixcraft users will be able to give you advice. All right, guys, so I just saw, by the way, that we only have 15 minutes left. So this webinar is going to end in 15 minutes, which also means this is the last opportunity to get the Ultimate Producer Package. If you guys want to get $5,980 worth of stuff for 95% off, then you got to head over to producerevent.com/go as quickly as you can, because it will shut down pretty soon. So just to remind you guys what you're getting inside the bundle, you're getting the top 10 Modern Producers Kits of 2018. You're also getting the top 10 Industry Kits of 2018 with a value of $695.21. You're also getting the top 20 unreleased kits from Modern Producers with a value of $802.63. So these aren't even on the site anymore and at all, and they won't be for some time. You'll be the only people to have them. You're also getting a lifetime Platinum Circle Producer Development Program membership, including all the sort of access to placement opportunities, to beat selling opportunities, and to all the trainings and whatnot, and networking with other producers with a value of $997. You're also getting 4 massive bonuses, including the Ultimate Producer Sound Kit tutorial to teach you guys how to package and sell your own sort of kits with a value of $97. You're also getting the bonus of the Ultimate Producer Record Label Lists with a value of $297. And you're getting the bonus of the Ultimate Producer ebook and video series, a huge collection of 220 ebooks and, of course, videos with a combined value of $2,937. And finally, you're getting the bonus of Superstar O's personal How to Sell Beats Online Volume 2 video series with a value of $154.95. So, guys, that's $5,980 worth of stuff which you can get for $347 upfront, or even with a payment plan for just $147 today. So head over to producerevent.com/go. All right, so we have 13 minutes. A couple of last questions, guys. Hit me with any questions you might have. Doesn't matter if it's about music production, about business, about marketing, about bundle. So hit me with those. Let's see if I can answer a couple more for you. Armando, you're very welcome. I understand, man. No worries at all. So obviously it's a one-time offer. If you can't afford it right now, as I said, you could always borrow the money or lend it from PayPal. But if that's not an option, totally fine, of course. Mario is asking me, how much memory do I need if I download the bundle? So it's a pretty huge collection. I think there's like over 20 gigabytes of stuff at least. But obviously you don't have to download it all at once. So your download links never expire. They're always active. And you can obviously download one product at a time. So you can just try out one VST and then install the next one later or something like that. So I hope that helps. Kevin as well, he just asked me how long will the Mediafire link be up for, but it's actually going to be up forever, so it does not expire. All right, let's see, a couple more questions, guys. Let's see what you got for me. Shout out again, by the way, to Century Status and to 2Deep and Alexander for answering people's questions too. Really appreciate you guys. So these are just some of the many producers that, by the way, are also inside a Platinum Circle, lending advice and helping you guys out. Let's see if I can browse through a couple more questions here. TJ is asking, how long did it take you to make enough money from making beats to replace a day job? So when I started out, I told you guys I started like back in 2013. I was just like a kid living in a little tiny village in the middle of nowhere in Germany. I just sort of started making beats for fun, and I didn't really think of anything. I'd always just been like a big fan of music, but I never thought about like being a music producer. And when I started sort of posting my beats online, people started liking them and eventually buying them. And that's when it kind of clicked in my head that I could actually make money from this. So it was like a aha moment, like eureka kind of thing, you know? But really, it was just a hobby for me for like 3 or 4 years. I was just doing it for fun. And I was making more and more money, though. So eventually, it actually ended up paying for my way through college. And this was sort of by like 2008, 2009. But I didn't sort of take it seriously and actually become a music producer and want to sort of make it my main source of income until like maybe 7 years ago or something like that. So up until then, I was making like $2,000-3,000 a month, and I was pretty happy with that, just as like a hobby. And then from there, it kind of grew to like 5,000, and then 10,000, and then 30,000, and 50,000, and so on and so on, when I started taking it more and more seriously. So I would suggest that if you start literally right now today, and you take the knowledge that I never had back then, so you take all the information, for example, that I shared with you, that you can read in the ebooks and stuff like that, you can probably repeat my success within like 3 or 4 years. So look, this isn't like a get-rich-quick scheme. I'm not going to tell you that you can become like a millionaire in a week, okay? But if you apply yourself, you work hard, and you have the right support network, you have the right knowledge and skills, then you can do it in like 3 or 4 years. That's the point where you can be sort of super successful and make a lot of money. If you're just talking about like, you know, being a full-time producer, like that would even be quicker if you're okay with kind of slumming it for a while, maybe within like a year or two. All right, guys, so we have like 9 minutes left. Again, the webinar is going to end pretty soon. Of course, I'm going to be handing out those free gifts to you guys. But for everyone who kind of wants to take advantage of this deal, the most valuable bundle that I've ever put together, and to really take things to the next level, then please go over to producerevent.com/go and pick up that package while you still can. David is asking me, what is a good site to license beats? So back in the day, SoundClick used to be a good one, but then that sort of faltered because they never updated their site and everybody started leaving. So nowadays, the top site to sell licenses to your beats is probably BeatStars. I prefer BeatStars over Airbit, which is the other big one, just because BeatStars has a big inbuilt community of producers and a big thriving marketplace where you can just make casual sales. Whereas Airbit is more about like the code for their player. And their player is really great. So if you already have your own website, you just want to embed sort of a beat selling player, then Airbit is definitely a good option too. So check those out. Dell is asking me, how do you get placements for movies, NFL, NBA, and so on? So the way you get placements is by networking with music supervisors and with music agencies. These are the people who are actually placing music in movies and TV shows. And you can actually find their information, for example, by looking at the credits of your favorite video game or your TV show. And you'll see there'll be like a name of a music supervisor. And then you can actually research them. You can find their information on LinkedIn or on Facebook, or you can contact their company directly. And then essentially you just want to sort of create a relationship with them. You want to introduce yourself. You want to introduce your music. And if they like your music, eventually they might start placing it inside those TV shows. So that's kind of the best way to do it, like the direct approach. The indirect approach is by joining, as I mentioned earlier, like a music library, or if you want a more personal touch, maybe like a music agency or finding a good rep. So really, that's the best way to do it. Okay, so let's see. Ben is asking me, what is the most effective way to gain YouTube subscribers? So if you remember, Ben, like earlier on in my presentation, I think it was strategy 2, I talked about a bunch of ways to blow up your YouTube channel. And the single best way to do that is by sort of being consistent and regularly putting out new content. So for example, doing it once a day and always at the same time of day, because it trains people to check your channel and to subscribe and wait for new stuff. Also, a great way to grow your subscribers is, first of all, actively encouraging them to do so. For example, you can have a little subscribe button inside your videos. You can even sort of post in the comments and ask them to subscribe. And of course, also networking with other big channels. So if you're lucky enough to collaborate with, for example, someone like myself, I have a YouTube channel with like 110,000 subscribers. If we cross-collaborate and promote, then chances are some of my subscribers are going to hear your stuff and also want to subscribe to you. So that's just one example. But you can also collaborate with, for example, like video gamers and have your music featured in their videos. And in exchange, they post your link in their video comments and stuff like that. So really, the sky's the limit. You just got to be creative and you got to network. All right, so I think we have 6 minutes left. We just about have time for maybe two more questions or so, and then we will wrap things up with today's live session. Michael was asking for a direct email. So guys, if for whatever reason you have more questions or you want to hit me up or you have any proposals you want to run by me, then feel free to email me at info@AnnoDominiNation, just like my website, .com. So I'm actually going to go ahead. I'm going to post that in the comments right now for you guys. info@AnnoDominiNation.com. So there you have it. If you guys have any questions after the webinar, you just want to hit me up, feel free to do so. Also, of course, guys, if you want to follow me on Twitter or on Instagram or on Facebook, it's always just going to be at AnnoDominiBeats or facebook.com/AnnoDominiBeats. You can also find me on YouTube, youtube.com/AnnoDominiBeats. I'm always happy to give advice to help producers out, and obviously I'm there for you guys to hopefully help you succeed in this endeavor. Like I said at the very start, we're all in this together, and that's definitely how I feel. All right, guys, any more questions? So I think Sakara is asking a question about 1099s and taxes. Obviously, if you're a music producer, you are liable for self-employment taxes. So if you're selling beats online, then you do have to pay tax. Depending on which state you're in the US or which country you're in, there's obviously going to be a different threshold to sort of say at what level you need to start paying taxes. So I think in the UK, for example, if you make less than, I think it's like £10,000, you don't pay self-employment tax. But anything above that, you do. Same for some of the taxes in the US. But of course, I believe if you're in certain states, you know, there's different tax levels and stuff like that. So if you have a question about tax as a producer, I highly recommend just talking to your accountant. Obviously, legally, I can't give any kind of tax or accounting advice. I hope that makes sense. So Mario was saying he's having trouble ordering the bundle. So when you go to producerevent.com/go, is that website working for you, Mario? I'm just going to check in now real quick to make sure. Yep, the website works. Mario, if you want to hit me up, I can send you also a personal link. But also, if you go to the order page and your order isn't going through, you can try and click on the PayPal link. So even if you're trying to use credit card, you can click on PayPal and then pay once you get to that server with credit card. So I'm sorry if it's not working for you, but I'm sure we can find a workaround for that. So I have one guy asking me, where did you get the name Anno Domini from? So as I mentioned, guys, people call me AD, which is short for Adrian. That's my actual name. And AD, of course, in Latin is the abbreviation for Anno Domini. So I'm sure you guys have seen, for example, historical dates written as 1860 AD or 1500 AD. And what that means is Anno Domini. So I thought, hey, that's a cool name. AD, my friends call me AD, so why not Anno Domini? That's kind of where that came from. Okay, we have about 2 minutes and a few seconds left. Again, guys, this is the very last chance for you guys to up your game. If you want to get the Ultimate Producer Package, please go over to producerevent.com/go. Once you're there, you just click on that, fill out your information, you click on the green button, and it will instantly take you to the download page. If you're having problems with your credit card, maybe try a different card. Call your card company to make sure it's not blocked or anything like that. If you're still having issues, you can also click on the PayPal link, which is on the same page. And then once you're on PayPal, you can actually check out there with your credit card. Or, of course, you can use your PayPal balance. If you don't have $347 upfront, you can also go the route of the payment plan, which is 3 times $147. And you just pay $147 upfront, and you still get all of the stuff right away today. And then finally, if there's still too much money for you, obviously there's the option of using the PayPal Finance or PayPal Credit. Or if you're not in the US, you can also always borrow the money from a friend or whatever it is. Whatever you need to do to basically get in on this amazing deal while it's still around. All right, guys. So we just have about a minute left. If there's any more pressing questions, hit me up right now. But as I mentioned, of course, you can also email me at any time. And of course, all of our producers, not just me, are always on hand to help you guys out. A big shout out to Joel. I see he just jumped in there at the last minute and bought the bundle. I've seen dozens of producers ordered it earlier, so I'm really, really excited for you guys to be downloading these sounds and also to have you inside the Platinum Circle group and to be mentoring you guys. So I can't wait to get to work. Anthony as well, congratulations. You just got the payment plan, so shout out to you, brother. I'll see you in there. And so again, Beats is asking me about the free hi-hat loop. So again, there's going to be 1 more minute of the webinar left. As soon as the countdown timer hits 0, that's also when I'm going to send you guys the free kit. So at this point, I guess I would just like to say thank you, first of all, to everyone for showing up today, to all the producers from the US, from whichever state you're from abroad. I know I saw some people from the UK, from my home country of Germany. I also want to give a shout out to all the producers in the comment boards, giving other producers their tips. And of course, feel free, guys. Now is a good time to start the networking. If you want to work together on projects, if you want to shout out your links or give people your emails, you're welcome to do so. So we just got 20 seconds left. This is the last chance to get the producer bundle at producerevent.com/go. A huge, huge shout out to DJ Fanatic, who got his package just now. Also, BD Beats, I'm really glad that I can help you out. Shout out to everyone out here soaking up knowledge, peeping some free game, and hopefully this really inspires you guys to take this to the next level and go away and really rethink your strategy. And I really want to create more entrepreneurs, guys. I want more successful super producers in the making. All right, so that's the end of the countdown timer now. Thank you guys so much. Thank you everyone who ordered the package. I'm super excited for you guys. So that's the end of today's webinar presentation. And in just a moment, we're going to pop in the free gift for you guys to download as well as a little thank you. So again, it's going to pop into the comment boards. There's going to be an orange button that you want to hit, and that's going to be the free gift, just as a little thank you from me and Superstar O for showing up today and for listening to me. So I'm just going to be hanging out in the comment boards for a little bit longer, but I'm going to turn off the audio feed in just a second. And again, guys, thank you so much. If you want to link up with me, info@annodominination.com. If you want to follow me online, at Anno Domini Beats, that's ANNODOMINI Beats, at Instagram, at Twitter, and at YouTube, anywhere else, feel free to hit me with those questions. Thank you guys, and have a wonderful rest of your Wednesday. And shout out, absolutely massive shout out to everyone who bought the bundle and everyone else who just showed up to peep some free knowledge. May the force be with you, I guess, in this music production world. I don't know why I just said that, but there you go. Peace.